What is the best 100-watt portable HF radio that's on the market today, still in production today in 2024? We're going to discuss 5 of the best 100-watt portable radios. Let's go. This idea for this video, of course, I just did my best HT video here a couple weeks ago, and I did my best HF video earlier this year. This idea, this is more specific. This is more drilled down. This is more of a niche. This is the best 100-watt portable radio. And as we go through the video, I will explain why I think some radios are portable and why some are not. But this came from a Twitter post while I was researching my thoughts on the 3 new radios that were revealed at the Tokyo Ham Fair, which I put a video up about that earlier. You can check on that here. But this came from Stuart, M0TTQ, and he's referring to the new Yaesu FTX1F. Yeah, FTX1F. It's a weird model number, but we'll get there. I'll figure it out one day. Stuart says, this is great that this rig is coming out, but the gap in the market right now is for a 100-watt portable mobile, not another QRP rig. Okay, so that I replied to him, and there's been a bunch of different replies, and we had a discussion. Myself and 2 or 3 other people down here had a discussion about the FT991, which we'll talk about that here in a minute. But that kind of put this idea in my head to say, okay, what is the best portable HF radio that's not a QRP radio? Now, I don't agree with Stuart in the one point that he says we don't need this radio right now, and I say, well, actually, yes, we do, because Yaesu discontinued the FT818 earlier this year, late last year, whenever that was. So before this FTX1F, yeah, that number, before that thing drops, Yaesu doesn't have an in-production HF QRP radio right now, like they have for a long, long time with the 817 and 818. So I don't agree with that part, but I do agree with Stuart, where he says that there's a market gap right now. And let me explain why. I'm going to go through these 5 radios, and I want to know what you think, so put a comment below. So what does it mean to be portable? Okay, what does it mean to be portable? I don't consider, this is going to kind of sound a little bit weird, I guess. I never really considered the Yaesu FT991A to be a portable radio because its predecessor, the FT857, was portable and small and compact, 100 watts, VHF, UHF, all mode. But most people would agree that the FT897 was probably not as portable, even though you can put it in a box and drag it around. I actually have one in a go bag myself. But those are all discontinued, and this is what we're at today. So I would like to know if you guys think that the 991A is a good portable radio. One of the gentlemen on Twitter said that it is a portable radio because it has a carrying handle on the side of it. No, incorrect. The old Kenwood TS520 that weighs about 30 pounds has a carrying handle on the side of it. Okay, it's an old tube radio. That doesn't make it portable just because it has a carrying handle on it. It makes it heavier than sin is the reason it has a carrying handle on it, because there's an old tube portable pre-transistor radio. Okay, so the fact that it has a carrying handle on it does not mean it's portable. That's my opinion. You can disagree with me if you want to. Put a comment below, let me know. But this is the 5 radios that we're going to talk about today. This is a brand new Yaesu FT710 field radio. Now, the field radio has a handle on the side of it. So did I just contradict myself? No, I don't think so. But the field radio has a handle on the side of it, and then you can get the ham shack version, as they call it, or the AESS, auto electrical acoustical. I'm butchering that. The AESS version comes with a speaker, and it has more of a surround sound to it. And then on the field version right here, the speaker is not included. You can add the speaker later for an additional cost if you want to, and it has a carrying handle on the side of it. But this is a great compact radio. This is what I would call a compact radio, great for POTA. Put it in a backpack and go POTA with it. Not heavy, not lightweight. $875 at Gigaparts at the time of this recording. This is a fantastic, and this radio just came out. This is one of the newest offerings from Yaesu. So when Stuart said, again, I didn't really agree with him about the QRP thing, and when he said there's a market gap right now for HF radios, because we're not seeing a lot of new HF radios come out, I think he's right, but this radio, the FT710 Field and the AESS1, were just released within the last year from Yaesu. Okay, so Yaesu is still releasing radios right now. And this one is great because it comes in at such a low price, under $900, full 100 watts, a great-looking screen on it. A lot of the bells and whistles that the FTDX10 had. Smaller, more compact than the FTDX10. It doesn't have all the filtering that the FTDX10 does, but it's just a fantastic radio. It's just HF only, HF and 6 meters only, no VHF, UHF. So that's one of the things that sets it apart from the 991A or its predecessor, the 857 or 897 radios. So the FT710 is the first one we're going to talk about today. The second one we're going to talk about today is the tried and true ICOM IC7300. Now, this radio is very lightweight. It's a little bit larger than the 710, and I've never done a weight comparison. You might be able to find a weight comparison down here. Specifications. This one, the FT710, according to Gigaparts' website, it weighs approximately 9.92 pounds, just under 10 pounds, 4.5 kilograms. The 7300... They do not list a weight for the 7300 on the Gigaparts website. Okay, checking over here, switching to ICOMAmerica.com, ICOM's official website. The weight of the 7300 is approximately 9.3 pounds, 4.2 kilograms, where the weight of the 710 is 9.92 pounds, 4.5 kilograms. So the Yaesu is a little bit heavier. 7300's got a little bit bigger screen. You can see this right here. 7300's been out for more than 10 years at the time of this recording. It's a fantastic radio, still in production, still in the market. Great to put into one of those Apache cases from Harbor Freight. Great to go in a backpack. Gigaparts has a sleeve for it that fits in their Explorer bag. They've got a sleeve for several of the radios we're going to talk about today. So the IC7300, although a little bit long in the tooth, because it's been out for more than 10 to 12 years, comes in $1,100 today, $999 after mail-in rebate from ICOM. But it is also a great radio used by lots of people still today. 100 watts, HF and 6 meters. Great menu system, great looking screen, great tuner, built-in tuner, all the bells and whistles, plug and play for FT8, built-in sound card, all the stuff that it should have. Great radio today, and it's definitely getting added to the list. This is number 2 today. The third one and the fourth one are going to be unique, okay? Now, at only $629, the Yaesu FT891 is the lowest priced one we're going to talk about today. So it is also 100 watts, HF, and 6 meters. No 2 meters, no 440. It is the smallest and most compact radio we're going to talk about today, and it's been for a long time the smallest and most compact HF 100-watt HF radio on the market for some number of years now. Now, if you had to say there was a market gap, in my opinion, and I've said this on a few live streams in the past, the market gap is actually in radios like that. Radios like the FT891. Because used to be, we had the FT857 from Yaesu. FT897 was its big brother, but it was a larger form factor. So we had the 857, about the same form factor as this one. We had the ICOM IC7000, which was very close in form factor, a little bit larger, but not much larger. Prior to that, we had the IC706 Mark II-G. We had the IC703, which is a QRP rig, but the same form factor as all those. Even the Kenwood TS480 SAT radio was a little bit larger, a little bit heavier, but still kind of that same form factor that you would mount it in your vehicle, or you could put it in a bag and take it with you places. Now, the whole man-pack thing is fairly new because we've been doing a lot of man-pack videos. I say we, the YouTube community as a whole. You find man-pack videos all over YouTube right now for HF ham radio. And a lot of that is attributed to the Tech Prepper, Gaston the Tech Prepper. He made his own bags for a while, kind of got people interested in the whole man-pack, backpack thing. Kind of a neat concept. I've got several of these that I'm working on right now. I've got several of them that are in working condition, and I'm going to share a video with you later on about some of those. But when you put a radio in a bag and you want to either hike it up a mountain or carry it inside of another bag or maybe put it in your vehicle and or maybe take it on a plane, which I have done with my FT891 in the Tech Prepper Man-Pack bag and taking it on a carry-on bag on a plane several times. You want it to be small, compact. You want it to fit together so that the face fits on the body of the radio, like the 891 does, like the 857 did, like the IC7000 did, 706 Mark II-G did. I talked about the Kenwood earlier, but it doesn't have the face that fits onto the body. You have to remote mount the face on the Kenwood. not in production anymore anyway. And we're going to talk about another ICOM here in a second where that's the same story. But this is the smallest and most compact radio on the market today for the fact that it is 100 watts. It has some great filters. The menu system is a little bit wonky. I'll give you that. Okay. It does not have a built-in tuner or a sound card, but you can get a digi-rig that interfaces with it beautifully for the sound card interface. The face of the radio fits on the body, which makes it even more compact and able to be carried around. So when someone says, hey, what radio should I put in my car? This is what most people are running in their cars right now. I don't run this radio in my car because everyone else I know runs this radio in their car. It's a fantastic choice. A fantastic choice for a mobile radio. But I always want to be different. So I got the TS480HX 200 watt version right now in my truck. No matter which of these radios you use, no matter if you're using a totally different radio, if you're taking your radio into the field and setting up portable operations, I highly recommend Mezzi and Poloni coax. Mezzi and Poloni is some of the best coax out there. They're very supportive of the ham radio community. You can save a 10% discount on all of their products with the coupon code of HR2Cables at the link in the description below. They are today's video sponsor, so if you purchase from them either directly from Mezzi.it or from the link below at Gigaparts, the HR2 Cables coupon will work on both websites. If you purchase from them, be sure to tell them thank you for supporting Ham Radio 2.0. This is the most compact radio on the market right now. It does not have a competitor on the market right now that's in production because it's small, has the face that will remote mount or mount to the body, and it's 100 watts. And there's nothing else on the market like it right now. That's the FT891. The one that comes close to that is the ICOM IC7100. Now, back a couple years ago, you could get this radio for around $750, between $750 and $800. ICOM did some very minor updates to it and re-released it about a year ago, and now it's about $1,200. Is it worth it? I don't know. If you're big into D-Star, then yeah, maybe. If you want VHF, UHF all mode, the 7100 has that. If you want to take your radio out into the field in some sort of backpack or go kit, the 7100 is a good choice for that because it has VHF and UHF along with HF and 6 meters. The FT891 is sadly lacking 2 meters and 440. It does have 6 meters. It's sadly lacking 2 meters and 440. The 7100 has 2 meters and 440, but you can see the display right here. The display does not fit on the radio. So now you've got a 2-piece radio instead of a 1-piece radio that'll go in a bag and go in a go kit, go in a backpack, and that kind of thing. The 7100 does have a built-in sound card and no tuner. I think I'm saying that right. I've said that wrong in some videos in the past. I believe it has a built-in sound card, but no built-in tuner. I think. I could be backwards on that. But I don't own one of these radios, so I don't know firsthand. I own an FT891. In fact, I own all of the radios we're going to talk about today, except for this one and the 710. I did not keep my 710. I gave it away on a live stream because I had the FTDX10. But the 7100 is about the second greatest 100-watt compact HF radio today. It does add D-Star. It adds VHF and UHF 2 meters and 70 centimeters, not just FM, but all modes. So you can do sideband, you can do FT8, you can do CW on those VHF and UHF bands. But the only problem with it is that it's not as compact as the FT891 because that head is remote only. Now, it does have a tripod mount on the bottom of that head, so much like the 705 is used, you get a little tripod, you keep it with you. You can mount it to a tripod mount on a radio rack inside your vehicle, or maybe inside, or carry a little tripod and set it on the table you set up at if you're going to carry it in a backpack, but it's still not quite as compact as the FT891, but it adds more features like we just talked about. This is the Yaesu FTDX10 100-watt radio. It is about $13.75 at the time of this recording at Gigaparts. All these radios are at Gigaparts today. I do not get any commissions from Gigaparts on the sale of anything from Yaesu, ICOM, or Kenwood. People often say, oh, well, sometimes I get comments on my best of videos that say, well, I guess that's who paid you this week. I'm like, look, Yaesu, Kenwood, and ICOM, I've never made a penny from these guys. They're all fantastic radios. They don't pay commissions. The retailers like Gigaparts and RNL and MTC, they don't pay commissions. I don't make any money on a Yaesu, ICOM, or Kenwood radio. I'm giving you my honest opinion. If you don't think I'm being honest with you, there's another channel over there you can go check out. The FTDX10 is definitely my favorite radio. I have this radio in a Pelican case. I am building a backpack for it. It's probably larger than anything else we've talked about today, but there's so much great filtering and features in this radio. It's almost like a competition grade radio that's in the field with you. It's a little bit larger than the IC7300. It's a little bit heavier than the IC7300. On the specifications page on Gigaparts, it still doesn't say what the weight of the FTDX10 is, so let's go check out the Yaesu website. I did a quick search on the Yaesu website. I don't really want to dig for it right now, but I can't find anything listed out in the open about this radio on their website. Nothing. That's probably why Gigaparts doesn't have it on their website either. Maybe Yaesu's not forthcoming with that. I personally believe that this radio weighs more than the 7300 and the FT710. It's larger. It's the largest one and probably the heaviest one, but it's my favorite because I just love this radio. If you tell me that this radio can be portable, then you should say that the 991A should also be portable. And you're right. The FT991A, which incorporates Yaesu System Fusion, VHF, and UHF all mode, similar to the IC7100, it could also be portable. Okay, if you want to carry that around, it could be portable. But the 991 is more like the 897 in my opinion. That's my opinion with it. I contradict myself because I carry around the FTDX10 and it's larger than the 991A is. But to me, if I'm looking for like a shack-in-the-box radio that includes an all mode and everything inside of a small Go kit, I want to look for like an IC7000 or perhaps the IC7100 or an FT857 or something that is a little bit more compact because they're all 100 watts. Everything we're talking about today is 100 watts. So the wattage output is going to be the same. The difference is going to be in the receive filtering, whether it has VHF, UHF all mode, and whether it has some sort of digital mode like either System Fusion, which some of the Yaesus have, or D-Star, which some of the ICOMs have. So that's the difference today. So yeah, you could add the FT991A as number 6. And as the number 6 radio, it is $1149. So it's about $200 cheaper than the 710, and it gives, than the FTDX10, and it gives you the 2 meters and 440 all mode plus fusion. The FTDX10 does not have fusion in it. So if that's something you want, you might want to look at that as well. And it comes in, they actually have the weight on this one. So the 991A comes in at 9.5 pounds. That's actually lighter than I thought it would be. I was thinking that the 991A is probably a couple pounds heavier than the 7300. The last time I held a 991A, it seemed like it was heavier just by holding it in my hand. But according to this weight right here, it's only 9.5 pounds. So in that regard, I guess it would be a little bit more compact of a radio. It's just not as small and compact as its predecessors were, and that's usually what I mean when I say it's not a portable radio, but it could be. It totally could be a portable radio. I guess maybe I'm kind of talking myself into going and buying a 991A now because I have all these other ones anyway. Wonder what it would look like in a backpack. So, is there a market gap? I think, my opinion, there's a market gap for the smaller and compact size 100-watt radios, such as the 891. I think that ICOM and Kenwood, and maybe even a couple of the Chinese guys, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't mind. Even Alenco. Alenco used to make some really good HF radios, but they were all more of a desktop version radio, more about the size of like, well, maybe about the size of 7300. So in that regard, it could be a portable radio too. I mean, but what is actually portable? What do you think is portable? I don't think the carrying handle on the side makes it portable. Like I said a minute ago, the TS520, which weighs 30 pounds, has a carrying handle on the side of it. Who cares? That's not what makes it portable. It's really a matter of what you want to carry in your backpack. If you're hiking, if you're doing soda, if you're just putting it in a bag, throwing it in your vehicle and driving to a drive-up soda or driving to a POTA. That's what I do with my FTDX10. I've never hiked my DX10 up a mountain, but I've carried it to many POTA activations in my vehicle. So, yeah, in that regard, for me, it's portable. But if I was going to go real portable, I would take my 891, which is the smallest HF radio in production on the market that's 100 watts. I would take it in the bag I've already got it in, put it in another bag or a backpack or a carry-on bag for an airplane, and take it with me, which I've done many times in the past. So I would like to see more radios of that form factor come out. So that's my opinion. That's my opinion about, is there a market gap? Yes, but not necessarily in the way you might think. There's plenty of HF options out there There's just not a compact, a truly compact, and a truly portable 100-watt HF radio, except the Yaesu FT891 right now here and today. Happens to be the cheapest one also. So that's the one I often refer people to. So what do you think? What would you like to see in the next iteration of 100-watt HF radio from one of the big three or big four, if you want to include Elenco, or maybe even from Xiegu? When's Xiegu going to come out with a 100-watt radio? I'd like to see that as well. Put a comment below, and if you like this video, then YouTube thinks you might like these videos over here. 73, catch you next time.